Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we have for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC via Steam. PlayStation and Xbox players will have to wait a little bit longer, as Capcom just finished their brand new digital presentation showcasing everything we're gonna get as part of the 4th free title update. And if you have been paying attention to this channel, or perhaps even just the leaks themselves, you should probably have been already privy to exactly what they were gonna showcase. And of course, once again, pretty much the leaks were 100% right, with one interesting caveat which we will get to in a moment. So first and foremost, when it comes to the monsters, no big surprise there. Brand new Valkana, the brand new Elder Dragon, or the returning Elder Dragon from World, is now going to be making its appearance in a Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and it's fantastic. I personally love the way that it looks. Oh my goodness, that armor that they showcased looks so spiffy. Certainly looking forward to grabbing some of that. And it certainly looks great. You know, from the usually a lot of people complain that World monsters kind of look a little bit different. You know, they don't necessarily end up looking the way that they should from World. Their translation to Rise isn't necessarily, you know, the best one. But this time around, what they ended up doing, I think it was a pretty good translation. The monster looks pretty much exactly as it did. Not necessarily, you know, a 1-to-1 ratio, but still nonetheless, you know, it's still pretty much looked all right. Now, one of the biggest, I think, interesting things that we did get to see is, of course, that will be part of the 4th free title update, or what they're calling version 14, is Risen Crimsow Grow Valstrax. This thing has yellow golden tipped wings. It just looks fantastic. Now, the other Elder Dragons that was, you know, Risen already had that on the original look, but this time around, man, I am certainly very excited the way you know, that is already looking. So I'm a big fan of Risen monsters in general, and I think this one specifically is just gonna be a real nasty one for us to be able to tackle. I didn't necessarily showcase anything new that we didn't like already expect, but you know, at the end of the day, these are the two monsters that we were just the hands that we were dealt, if you will. This is what we were expecting to see, and there's no real surprise there. One of the things that I will quickly shout out is the Valkana Palamute layered armor. This is the one that you're going to be able to get through the Capcom ID. I covered this a few days ago as a brand new armor set becoming part of the 4th free title update through simply just them awarding you that if you go ahead and make an account through this Capcom ID, you're going to be able to get that Valkana thing. I'm going to make a separate video on this at a later date for those who didn't necessarily get it, especially when it goes live, so everyone can get their little Palamute Valkana layered outfit. Now, the interesting twist here out of all the things that they revealed, which wasn't really a lot, but we kind of expected that, is the fact that, yes, indeed, Anomaly 8-star investigations are coming. This is something that we were expecting for the next free title update to go ahead and drop, but they went ahead and dropped it this time. What is weird about it is the fact that, I guess, Anomaly Investigation Chaotic Gore Magala is coming. This was one of the 3 monsters that I suggested would be part of this. If there was going to be an 8th-star Anomaly Investigations, I said Chaotic Gore Magala would be one of them. So Anomaly Investigation Chaotic Gore Magala coming, cool, great. Still, no Violet Mitsuzune, no Lucent Nargacuga. That is just weird. They're still choosing not to do those two for whatever reason. And in their replacement, what we're going to end up getting is pretty much what it seems to be. All 4 Risen monsters are now going to be part of Anomaly Investigation quest through the 8-star search. And the level cap is going to be raised to 220. So it seems like the original leaks where we spoke about the level cap being at 200 and perhaps not necessarily going up, that is no longer applicable. The level cap will be raised to 220, so this actually means, like a lot of people suggested, maybe ultimately the level cap gets raised in the last free title update to 999. That is something that a lot of people had kind of thrown out there. Some people had thrown in 300, but it seems to be like they might actually end up doing 999 at the end of the day, which, you know, is just ultimately the endless grind that people love to have in some of these Monster Hunter games. And, you know, a lot of people have already been level 999 master rank, so for them to do, you know, Anomaly Investigation 999 wouldn't necessarily be that much of a surprise at the end of the day. So that is essentially what we're looking at here. Now, when it came to that and the DLC, they of course talked about more event quests coming. That's all well and good. I really have no issues with that. I don't know why they highlighted Chaotic Gore Magala and the Seething Bezelgeuse event quest. They may try to make it sound like it was a bigger deal, but it wasn't. It's just a dual threat, you know, monster quest. not necessarily sure. They did showcase another Frontiers armor coming as part of the package of armors. We're going to be talking about those. I'll make a separate video feature all the armors, talk about where they come from and all of that, what versions of Frontiers they were available in and all of that. I'll get to that at a later date. Of course, the patch notes eventually should be dropping next week as well. I'm going to be talking about that in the future as well. And at the back end of the video, they confirmed that version 15, so this is essentially free title update number 5, will not only have a returning dragon, which we already kind of know if you watch my latest leaks video, link in the description below if you didn't catch it. We already know what that's going to be. And they mentioned powered up monster, but that's a singular, doesn't say plural. We are expecting 3 monsters to be part of this update. For some reason, they are just talking about one powered up monster and 1 elder dragon. So interesting. I don't necessarily know if they went ahead and changed plans. Like I mentioned before, though, I do think if there's going to be a 6th free title update, that will get revealed at April. So now we know that on April, the 5th free title update drops, version 0.15. And I presume that if there's actually going to happen, they still didn't necessarily give us a release date for Sunbreak on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X, Xbox One, and PC Windows. Presumably, once that drops, I think most likely after April, they would go ahead and give us the information regarding the 6th free title update, which I think is still going to end up unifying everything. That is what a lot of people have been hoping for. They have been suggesting that this Capcom ID thing is also going to unify crossplay and cross saves. I don't see that at all. I don't know why people are getting their hopes up that that's actually going to be the case. But as of right now, this is what we're looking at. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the 4th free title update has Volcana, Risen Crimson Glow, Valstrax, a couple of event quests, Anomaly A-star investigation quest, which the unlock level is going to be interesting. If it's going to be 181, we're going to have to get to that. I'm going to have to put in some grind work because, like I mentioned before, I stopped doing anomaly investigation quests like around 150. I just stopped. I couldn't necessarily care. I couldn't be bothered. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of grinding to be able to unlock those before probably next week. And then, you know, we get a couple of brand new anomaly investigation monsters. They did say, I believe, the Risens will drop after 110. So that's going to be good. You're going to be able to get those relatively early. And then we're still going to be waiting to see if those last 2 Apexes are going to be part of this specific update. We still don't necessarily know. All the other Apexes still don't necessarily have master rank quests. We're still waiting on that. So just a lot of things still up in the air. You know, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Some of those weapon balances that we were expecting, we don't know. They didn't necessarily speak about any of that here as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see what is going to happen. The patch notes will be giving us more information. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.